UK's best, put a natural feeding to the test. From Scotland's Highlands to the coast of Dover, we are the raw feeders of Great Britain, yeah!
Good morning, welcome to the Raw Feeders of Great Britain podcast. As you know, I'm Mike. Can you start by telling everybody why you've come on the podcast today? Or should I say, why I've asked you to come on the podcast today?
I think to help get the brand of Betsy's out there a little bit more. You, I think, saw us floating around a little bit, made contact. So I said, let me send you some food, first of all, so you can actually see what you're dealing with. And then from there, we just thought we'd have a little chat.
Yeah, definitely. And everybody that knows me, I'm completely non-biased. I'm open, I'm transparent. I call a spade a spade. If you'd have sent, like I say, you sent me these, which is great packaging, by the way, and I didn't think it was up to scratch, I'd politely give you some feedback and said, obviously, why I wouldn't want you to appear. But the fact you're on here, you've got through my gate, which that's a massive thing, because I am probably one of the most scrutinizing people of the raw feeding world. So that in itself is a massive, great thing for you guys. Now, obviously, I think you sent me 5 of them, but I've only got 3 left. I've only pulled 1 out of the freezer. I'm going to give her tonight, which is the lamb one. But first and foremost, I want to tell you, the packaging itself was absolutely fantastic. I'm a massive stickler for all these cheap plastic tubs that you see knocking about these days, that not tamper-proof, things like that. But people get alarmed when they see like the cardboard. They think, how's it leak-proof? But it is, because they're lined. They've got like a waterproof lining, and it's also on the lid, and it's very, like I said, very tight and snug. And obviously with this, there's a little bit of extra security. And I tested one of them to its absolute extreme limits. I defrosted it on the kitchen side in this warm weather, tipped it upside down for a good half an hour. Nothing leaked out. Nothing. You'd expect something, even the outside, to get really damp, but it didn't. It just condensed, and that's it, because of the moisture in the air. So I thought it was fantastic. Packaging, 10 out of 10. Do you know what? I wish more would follow suit. And the best thing about it is compostable as well.
Yeah.
So you just wash them out and you can compost them, which is brilliant. But let's talk about Betsy's itself. Now, you could have picked any avenue of pet foods to go down. Yeah. Why did you pick raw?
Okay. People are probably going to be sick of me talking about this story. So for nearly 15 years now, 15 years, I have bred and I've shown my own dogs. So I've got beagles. And I think it was my second ever litter. We had a little runt, and that puppy, I tell you what, I think I lost about a stone, and I didn't sleep for about a week because trying to keep her alive. And she ended up being called like the mini beagle, because she was literally like half the size of everybody else in her litter. A friend of mine took her on, and she then became Betsy. When Betsy, so this was at this point, I kibble fed, so I was kibble everything. So when Betsy went to her new home, she was about 18 months, 2 years old, and the owner said to me that she was having some skin issues. She was a bit sluggish. She wasn't sort of her usual sprightly self. So she decided to try hypoallergenic, grain-free. You know, she went through all the avenues. She did all the testing at the vets. She did the lot. She spent a lot of money to try and figure out how to help Betsy. And in the end, nothing was working, nothing was helping. And in the end, she said, I'm going to try raw. And I remember being absolutely disgusted. What? Like, what? You're going to feed raw? Like, that's gross. So this is why I understand where people go on their journey, because I was there. So I was like, oh, right, okay. And she switched her to raw, and I kid you not, within 2 to 3 weeks, like the difference already was insane. From there, I was like, okay, I might give this a try. So it was Bryony, my good friend Bryony. So me and her, then what we used to do was we used to meal prep. So we used to raw together, and we used to buy in a different brand at that time, obviously. And we would meal prep, and we would have these little Chinese pots that we'd reuse, and we would prep for our dogs for about a month. Now we had between us, I think at that time, probably 7 dogs. So prepping for a month, and we used to prep it in their actual amounts for the day. So we could just feed per day. So that happened. Friends would say, "Oh, can you meal prep for us? Can you do that for us as well?" And then another person that we knew was sort of like, "Oh, there could be a business here within this." So we were like, "Really?" So from there, that's sort of how it became. We were thinking about names for such a long time. We were going round and round and round, and I think in the end, just one of us just said, "Why don't we just call it Betsy's? Because Betsy's the reason that we started it." So there you go. Very long-winded version.
Do you know what? And that's absolutely fantastic, because you took something observational and saw the benefits of it, and then you thought, you know what? You've got, obviously, setting up a manufacturing business is expensive, and the fact you
Yeah.
chose raw, hats
Yeah.
off to you,
Yeah.
because it is a lot more difficult. It really is. It's
I
far
was
more
totally
easier
out my
to,
depth.
like I said, produce like a dry food.
Yeah. Totally out my
So,
depth. We learned a lot on the as we went. We really did.
which is great. So I'm guessing you're actually one of the lucky ones in your local area that's got an epic representative of of DEFRA,
Yeah.
that supports the raw feeding side of it, because not all of them do, and they can make life extremely difficult, as we've found out with some of them. But so let's just run me through it then. What proteins have you got available at the moment?
Oh my God, now you're asking a lot. Our DEFRA rep always says to us, for the size that you are, I can't believe how many lines you have. So proteins, we've got lamb, beef, chicken, duck, goose, venison, lamb tripe, beef tripe, pork, rabbit. I'm trying to think. A lot. I think there's about 17 recipes.
That's a lot already. And
Yeah.
one thing again that gives me a massive bonus for you, again, ticks a massive box on my list, is the fact that it doesn't state complete and balanced like a lot of people try and do.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
honest. It says
Yeah, the amount of
complimentary.
people that we get and we say, is your food complete? Is it complete? Why does it not say complete? And I try to explain, because I never want to bring down any other manufacturer. We're all doing our own thing, like, and I totally love the market. But I just try to say, I think, and this is me personally, not Betsy's, I personally believe
Yeah.
one tub to contain absolutely everything your dog needs forever. That's a lot. That's a big ask from one tub, which is why I always say to people, rotate your proteins, make sure you're including a fish in there somewhere. We do a veg blend, offer the veg blend, or if you want to save some money when you're doing a Sunday roast, add some in of your own, and herbs that we offer. Like it's balance, it's balancing over time, and I'm really quite passionate about that.
Exactly that. And it's slightly cut off here, but that's exactly what that says. It says balance over time. And that's exactly my ethos, for the same reasons you've just highlighted. So yeah, you've got transparent labeling, you've got epic packaging, and you know what? Your delivery as well was speedy, and it was still rock hard frozen. So fair play to you. So whatever you're doing is working, which is great. And it was in warmer weather as well, so winter would be even better.
Yeah, we've done really well in the summer, to be fair. We made a big decision and we've tried really hard, and we've put a lot of additional practices in place, and so far, touch wood, everything's been getting delivered 9 times out of 10 pretty well.
Which is obviously, like I say, it's proof in the pudding. So thank you for sending it to me, because otherwise I was just going off, like I said, reviews online and things like that. And obviously it's the internet. You can get a lot of biased reviews and things like that, or even fake reviews. But now I've actually seen it for myself. And saying that, it's unique to any other brand that I've actually tried. And I'll be honest with you, I've been honest to everyone, I'm a bit of what I call a brand virgin. I've not experienced that many brands that are out there, because there's so many that have popped up out the woodwork in the recent years. But this one is different compared to the rest. It's chunkier. In fact, I'd go as far as say it doesn't have like a ground texture to it. It feels like it's been diced, if that makes sense. And it's just, yeah, I just found it a lot better. And my Maggie prefers it because she has to chew it rather than just like lick it up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what is it you do that's different? Obviously, without giving away like your trade secrets, like do you process slightly different to other people, or like what's the difference?
Really no, because this is a little bit strange, is I've not really come from a manufacturing background or even a food manufacturing background. So I don't really know what others are doing. And if I'm honest, I keep it that way. I sort of keep my blinkers on and I just focus on Betsy's and what we're doing. All I can say is that we don't buy anything in I've seen them before, like the slabs. You can buy like minced down slabs. Nothing like that. We buy in like the whole product. So we buy in whole beef hearts. So I think it's just probably the way that we're mincing. We always obviously do it partly frozen still. The mincing plate that we've got is a 10 ml plate. Everything goes through and then it's mixed back through again just to make sure that it's an even consistency. And we're still tubbing partly frozen and it's just straight back into the freezer. So I think it's where we're sourcing from as well. So we've got some really good relationships. I don't use hundreds of different people. We've probably got 3 or 4 suppliers that are really trusted. They know what we're trying to achieve here. Because we've had it before. We've had some products sent and I've said, I'm not using that. It's going back, So we make sure that we source good material in as well. It's not anything slop or and we're making sure as well that we're using like lamb trim, which is really expensive, but we're not filling it with pluck and trachea and anything, it's lamb trim, and a good one at that. I think we're using about 80 BL at the moment, so it holds itself together well. So it's if you're using a good product to begin with, it will follow through the chain.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Which is why, like I was purely interested, because, like I say, it's just alien to me, but in a good way, a really good way. And the fact that you've been honest and said you came into this with pretty much on a hope and a prayer, with something that works, and you started winging it, but you're doing it at such a better rate than most people that have been doing it for years. In terms of the product itself, in my opinion. I've just seen nothing like it, and I'm not just interested in like what your secrets were, but by the sounds of it, it's just quality control in terms of what you actually taking in and the end product itself as well. Because you get a lot of people online at the moment, they get worried about the like large bone fragments and things like that, and obviously no manufacturer is infallible. Things can happen for the odd set, like the odd tub here and there, and that's fine. It happens. But some, like I said, they have really high bone percentages in there. And again, something else you're transparent about. It says 10%. However, it does, I say in the small print, between 5 and 15 on this lamb one specifically. And that's great to me, because then at least a customer's aware, right, okay, it may be a little bit higher, so they can then be ready for that and maybe get ready to dilute it or something like that the following day or a couple of hours later. And I've just never seen a manufacturer that uses such transparent labeling and clear designs as well.
Yeah.
Even with, like, say, the play on words, like the beautiful banquet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, I can't zoom in enough, but beaut is in like you, the sheep. Right, I think it's clever. I like it. So at the moment, I can see you. Obviously, you've got stockists that are stocking Betsy's. Do you do it direct to customers as well?
Yes, yeah, we do. So I remember actually, we never really had the vision. Well, right in the beginning, it wasn't like let's hit trade accounts, let's do this. It was just sort of just to sell it to the direct to the market. And I remember when our first shop approached us, and shout out to Abby from Comfort and Nourish, and I was like, "What?" I thought it was a scam. I thought, "What's this? Who's this? Why do they want to stock our product?" And yeah, so it's really hard to find the balance, and it's really, really important to me that direct and our trade are both equally looked after. So I can totally appreciate, because obviously you see it on Facebook in the groups, that people do get upset, and I completely understand why, of well, you're selling direct and you're giving them a better discount, and then you're not giving us, and it's hard for us to sell. And I would never ever want to undercut my trade accounts, because they're on the ground, they're doing the work, so they're really important to us. So it's just a really fine line to keep everybody happy. So yeah, we do offer direct custom discounts sometimes, but I also do the same for my trade accounts. So we will sometimes run an extra margin for them, or we send them free samples, or point of sale is always for free, and we're always sort of trying to support where we can. We share them on our socials. Obviously they're on the map now on our website. And if we ever do have customers, it doesn't happen often, but if we ever do have customers come to us and say, oh, I'd like to come to you direct, I'd always question that. And I say, oh, why? Like, you know, we support shopping local. And it might be, oh, they just don't have the flavour that I need in stock today. But I am going to go back to them, and I'm like, right, okay, fine, because I'm not in this industry to be greedy and try and steal customers from my customers. So, yeah.
Yeah, and do you know what? That's a great mentality to have, because you do see it online. It does become quite toxic, and to stay away from that is a great thing. And the fact that I've seen you as well, I've seen your customer service on socials. Do you know what? You're absolutely spot on. And the fact that you do engage with people, with customers, with businesses publicly is brilliant, because a lot of people send an email to this and will respond within 3 to 5 working days. That's not enough, but you're reactive. And
Yeah.
with that, yeah, you're going to get some direct, like I say, negative Nellies, but you just take them on the chin, because as long as you're pleasing the masses, that's absolutely fine. And
Yeah.
for me, you tick every single box.
That's
So
quite
in
important
respect
as
to you,
well. I'd never want to hide comments or delete them, you know, because it's got to give a clear and honest picture of what we are. And sometimes we have messed up, or we have done something wrong, but I always think if you can directly fix that, that's more important for me. I would never let anybody be out of pocket if it was something that we had done, obviously accidentally. You know, I'm talking, for example, with DPD haven't delivered and the food's gone defrosted. I would never say, well, you know, you've taken the chance in this heat. No, tell me what's defrosted. We'll refund it, or we'll resend it when it's cooler. We really sort of try and look after that. And I must say that I am really sorry to anyone that's watching if I don't reply straight away. So we are a very small team. I think people think we're big and that we have office staff. We don't. So they sometimes say, oh, you don't answer the phone. No, it's because all of us are in production or I'm doing invoicing, or I'm booking on a pallet or something, you know. So do try my hardest to reply to people, which is usually why it's at 9 o'clock at night while I'm sitting on my sofa. But yeah, it's hard to juggle it all. Definitely.
do you know what? I can understand that. Not exactly, because I don't do what you do, but you do spin a lot of plates, especially when you're so small. And the way you present yourself, you do come across like I said, like you've been doing it for years. Your marketing's spot on, your socials are spot on, in my opinion, and people will get the impression that you are a bit bigger, because
Yeah.
a lot of companies that are to your standard right now, they've got marketing teams. Do you know what I mean? They've got people that specialize in that, and you're doing it all yourselves. Such a small close knit thing. It's fantastic, and again, that's just massive respect to you guys, because it just shows how much passion you've got for this. And yeah, I can see a lot of people don't take compliments that well, especially when they get them, especially from me, because it's very rare that I give them out. I'm really, I do unintentionally judgmental, but I won't do it with people's dogs
Yeah.
at like best interest,
Yeah.
because I don't want people falling for marketing when the marketing is doing more weight than the actual products.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, you could stop posting online, and the products will sell themselves.
Yeah.
People still
Yeah, and I
come
think
back.
that's sort of what we try and do as well, to be honest. Like, the proof's in the pudding. And that's we just want to make a good product. And we've grown really organically, so it has been slow. We've not had infusions of cash to be able to like do that like a marketing team. It's literally me that does the marketing.
Yeah.
But it's slow growth, and I would prefer that, because it's sort of like it's growing at a reasonable rate, and it's sort of growing through the right way. It's not here's 80% off your first order. You know, I want people to pick the product because they believe in it, not because it's heavily discounted or you can get this free or anything else. And I think that's as well why it's moving slowly, like things like this. People have heard of it, they said, oh, I want to give it a try, and actually, yeah, I really like it, and then they'll go and tell somebody else, and that's sort of the vibe that I like. Slow and steady wins the race.
And that's the best way to do it. You've hit the nail right on the head. A lot of people, because again they're passionate, and because they're eager, they get themselves into a point where the demand just doesn't match the supply, and then they'll start cutting corners to meet that demand, and that's when things start to slip. Because as soon as you rush it, you're going to start making mistakes. The quality is going to drop, and it's true what they say. You can't rush perfection, and I'd rather have a company doing what you do all day long than try and scale too quickly and try and run before you can walk.
100%.
But at the
That's
moment,
what I always say.
You've mastered what you're doing, in my opinion. You really have. And I do wish more had actually following your footsteps, but at the same time I don't, because, do you know what I mean? You guys do what you do, and the less people that copy, the better. But in an ideal world, they'd all be doing it like you guys, because you tick every single box.
Yeah.
You say you handpick your suppliers, you quality control what comes in, you reject stuff that you wouldn't feed to your own dog. Your labelling's transparent, your designs are amazing, your packaging's eco-friendly. It's a one-stop shop for everything that I believe in. The ethos is just brilliant. It's very, very, very well aligned. So you've touched on this a minute ago. You said you got a map for all the stockists, or where people can get it from. So underneath this episode, I will put that link for people that are interested, because obviously I'd love for people to support stockists and independents as much as they can. Either way, if it's going through a stockist or going directly to you, it's still supporting you as a business. But at the same time, it's for an independent, it's supporting another business as well. So it's a win-win. And it's all about that network and keeping people happy. And the fact that you take people on your journey as well is a beautiful thing. You're one of the very few manufacturers that I've seen that do like behind the scenes type videos that are that transparent.
Yeah.
Some factories, they don't even let people come in and walk around. It's very, 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 very private. And I get a little bit of a red flag about that, because I'm like, what are you hiding? Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's KFC secret blend of herbs and spices that they want to try and keep secret. Do you know what I mean? It's just your basic standard operating procedures. And to me, you should be proud about that and invite anybody in, because you should be proud about what you do. And the fact that you're taking that concept and pushing it online as well, where anybody can watch it. One, it's brave, and two, it's unique, because not many people are doing it. And again, hats off to you. You're literally ticking more boxes than you need to be doing. And the fact that you're so new at this, like I said, you started it with a hope and a prayer, hoping that a good idea would turn into something great, has paid off. And that says more about you and your team than anything else.
Yeah.
So
I think the reason why we want to be so transparent as well is because we want people, we know we are new, and we want people to trust us. So it's sort of like, look, here we are, here's what we do and how we're doing it. And if you trust us, you can try us, you know?
Yeah. And the best thing about your ethos as well is the fact that you don't want to scale that quickly. You'd rather keep it as you are, growing in a respectable manner, that you can still keep up the supply and not compromise on quality. That's going to keep all your independents happy, because you'll see a lot of businesses now where they're trying to scale quickly. So they're trying to get themselves into large chain retails and things like that. And to me, that's when it causes a little bit of friction. Yeah, it's better can be better for the business in terms of moving product faster, but it does stab a lot of people in the back as well, especially your independents that have got you to where you are and created that demand. And the fact that you're happy being as you are, doing it as you are, and I've got a feeling that'll never change.
Yeah, I must say,
obviously,
yeah.
And yeah, people need to at least, like I say, give Betsy's a try. I think they should at least feed one meal of this a week, personally, just for something different, and just rotate the proteins through. And like I said, I did a video the other day about the white fish one, which I think is fantastic because you can cook them for when dogs are not feeling very well, so they've just had upset stomach and things like that. You can cook them, which is a great alternative to the classic chicken and rice that the vets push
Yeah.
when dogs are unwell.
Yeah.
Because it's a bland protein, it's easy to digest, and I was really surprised it didn't stink of fish. I thought it would have done,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
didn't. It smelt fresh. It was white. It weren't too much grey, and it generally did make me hungry. I did actually want to take a nibble of it.
Please don't. You'll get me in
But
trouble with
again,
Deborah.
but again, it's something, a rarity with the white fish one. I've always avoided it because I'm not a fan of that really strong, pungent fishy
Yeah.
smell.
Yeah.
I know we shouldn't judge a food based on our own senses because that doesn't translate to what's good for the dog. It's just my personal preference. I'm not a fan of strong fishy smells.
Yeah.
But there was nothing. I stuck my nose right in there and I couldn't smell anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was brilliant.
The
Absolutely
supplier
brilliant.
we use for
But that's one of
fish. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say that's one of the reasons why I feed salmon outside, because it makes me want to vomit a little bit. But that white fish, I'd happily feed it indoors. So what was you saying then? Sorry.
No, so I was going to say the supplier that we use for whitefish, they're sort of like award-winning. We get it direct from Grimsby. It's a really lovely company to work with. So the whitefish has always been top-notch. It's always been really good stuff.
Oh, and my geography is not clued up, but Grimsby's on the coast, right?
Yeah. So it's like sort of known for its fishing.
Yeah, I thought so. I know I'm a northerner, but I'm still not clued up on UK geography.
Yeah.
I've lived a sheltered life.
Yeah.
But I think it's Grimsby. I think it's like northeast, like whole Newcastle area, that side of it.
Yeah, don't test me on my geography.
Not just me, then, is it?
No. I was trying to wing it then for a little while. Like, yeah.
So
it's great stuff.
What's your plans for the future? Are you just have you got hit your milestone now and that's it? You're just going to cruise as you are, or what's the next steps?
Yeah, do you know, it's really difficult. I love it. I absolutely love doing this. So the amount of people that have said to me, you should sell Betsy's and go start another business, like from scratch, build something again. No, not interested. The amount of people that have said to me, heavily expand. So infuse some money and, like what you just said, sell to like the big chains, approach X, Y, Z. No, like no judgment to those that are doing that. Not interested. If I'm honest, probably not huge aspirations here. If we keep ticking as we are, I would actually be really happy. So for me, I am a mum. I love what I'm doing. I get flexibility. You know, if I want to go to my kids' sports day, I get to go to my kids' sports day. We've got an amazing team. I love working with them. They're an absolute laugh, and they're grafters as well. I have to shout out to the team. Not that any of them are probably going to watch this. They are just as passionate about Betsy's as I am. They really think outside the box and they're really dedicated. So I love working with them. I love the job. I'm happy to just keep moving organically, just to see where it goes. I've got no plans of making this absolutely massive. I've got no plans of selling it. I'm more than happy just ticking along, making good food, doing a bit of customer service, doing a bit of production. You know, it's good for me because I get really bored doing the same thing. I used to do office jobs. Oh my God, I used to want to just, it wasn't for me. Here, I get to, and it's the same for everybody really, all of the team. We get to, 1 minute we're booking on a pallet, the next minute we might be picking, then we're mincing, then we're sleeving. You know, it keeps you busy. It keeps you varied. So yeah, I love it. I love what I do. And I've got no intentions of changing. I'd love in the future for Betsy's itself, I'd love to introduce some more lines. and there are some flavours whirring around my head. The trouble that we've got is our freezer is not massive. And the way we've got it stacked in our freezer is a row per flavour. So at the moment, if I was to introduce a new flavour, something would have to go to make room for it, basically. So that's the only thing that I would love to sort of expand more for, so I can get a bigger freezer, get more flavours in there. Yeah, and sort of just meet the masses more, I suppose. Well, not even just the masses, but I love to meet those with the niches as well, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Like I say, there's Pats this year. Are you attending that at all?
Yeah, I don't know actually. So we have done Pats the last couple of years. I don't know this year if we're gonna go. We were tinkering with whether we had a stall there. But we're quite small, and when you put us up against the big guys, I don't know. But we might go for a little walk around again. Will you be there?
Well, tell you, so you say you're quite small, but you're operating like one of the big guys. And do you know what? You're not more so out the park. I think you're far too humble for what you've achieved. I really do. And
this is the story of my life.
Yeah, far too humble. You need to blow your own trumpet now and again, because what you've achieved is something great.
Thank you.
And I honestly, I couldn't sing your praises enough. But on that note, I just want to be like transparent with everybody that I've not been incentivized to say what I'm saying. I've not been paid in any way, shape, or form for your appearance on this podcast, and I do not get any form of any commission or anything like that for any sales it may generate as a result. Yeah, it's just credit where it's due, and I think you've done something truly amazing. And I do wish you all the success in the world, because you know what, you deserve it. And a lot of dogs are eating better because of you. So thank you for that.
Yeah, good. That's really important to us as well. And I just have to say, on the back of what you've just said, when you invited me to the podcast, I actually offered to send you food, and you were like, no, I'll purchase it. I wanted to. So I just want to say, because I think it's important. Like, I know you were willing, but as a thank you for inviting me onto the podcast, you're helping me with the brand. I wanted to sort of just send you a little bit of food just so you could see for yourself. So I'm glad that you've liked it.
No, yeah, I definitely have. Because, like I say, I just like to be transparent with everyone. I like to support businesses, and what I see, if people sending out freebies and things like that, I see it as taking money out of their pocket. So if they opt for it, that's absolutely fine. But I'll never request it or anything like that, put terms and conditions in for it, like to appear on the podcast or anything like that. I'm not about that, because I want to keep everything that I say completely transparent. But at the same time, I am firm, but I'm fair. So I wouldn't also not like it, get you on the podcast, and then just slate it personally. I'd have just sent you an email politely, off the record, with reasons why I wouldn't go ahead. Then obviously you could take that on board, either take it on the chin or get passive aggressive like some people do. But like I said, I've got a really, really strong gate at the door, and you've got through it. And I say there's not many people that do, because I am a bit of a critic, and a lot of people, I am Marmite, honestly. If people are going to love me or they're going to hate me. But the ones that love me tend to be the ones that have got like-minded standards, and they agree with me. So yeah, honestly, yes, it's not the cheapest product in the world, but in the end of the day, you get what you pay for. And I think for what you get, you're more than getting value for money. You really are. And I'll be placing an order from a local stockist, the closest one to me anyway. So I want Maggie to have at least one of these at least once a week, and I'll just rotate the proteins around as and when.
Yeah, and we really encourage that, to be fair. So we've posted that on our socials as well. Like, the way we say it is, you don't have to exclusively feed Betsy's, but just invite us to the party. Like, we'd just like to be in the freezer, even if it's one tub a week. You know, it's just, and it is important to feed different brands and to experience different brands. So that's not anything that we're against, and we sort of support that as well.
So at the moment, like I've noticed as well that you've called it, obviously, raw, like just raw food in general. It doesn't really say it's marketed directly like at dogs either, really. So have you got plans like for cats or even ferrets? Because again, two different markets.
Yeah, so it's really funny. So at home, I've got cats and ferrets, and they both feed Betsy's. So yeah, we do get that question a lot. Actually, we do get people, especially cat owners, that will say to us, "Can we feed Betsy's?" And whilst predominantly, like the recipes are created for dogs, and this is what I say to people, we do know of people that do feed it to their cats and their ferrets, and it's fine. And I think because we include heart in quite a lot of our recipes, that helps with feeding cats. We were looking to expand and to offer a complete cat range. But again, that's just one of the other ideas that's way around in my head at the moment. Because like I say, it's freezer space, it's logistics of it as well, because obviously we wouldn't use the big tubs, so it'd be finding smaller compostable tubs, and then that's an issue with sending out because the smaller tubs don't always hold up as well. So there's always the idea, and then it's right, what can go wrong to get for it to be perfect? And sometimes some of them I just think I don't quite know if we would get there, but yeah, I do know of, myself included, feed cats and feed the ferrets, and the ferrets love it.
Yeah, they definitely will. Like I said, it's chunky. But that's just what, to me, I think that's a gap in the market at the moment for all brands. I don't understand why they've not jumped on it, because when it comes to commercial foods for ferrets, it's either whole prey or kibble. They
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
The pet food industry haven't even made a wet food for a ferret. That makes no sense, because it'll be very, very similar to what a cat needs, but they're just forgotten about. I think it's because it's such a
yeah,
small market, it's not worth the
yeah.
investment.
I
But
do. I think
like I say,
for me personally, what I've seen in the market, I think, and this is why I try sometimes with our posts to be educational. I think some people some consumers are so led by the marketing. So if it says puppy range, oh, I can only feed that to my puppy. Whereas, we say you can feed our food to puppies. I wean my puppies, 3-week-old beagle puppies on our stuff. It's fine. So I think if you were to exclusively market something as ferret food, ferret raw, yeah, I just think I think for a manufacturer, I think the market would be too small. Whereas you can sort of feed this too. It's but you don't.
yeah,
It's really hard because the wording, if you were to put that on a packaging, I think people might read that and go, "Oh no, I don't know if I could feed this to my dog then," and it just gets really confusing.
yeah, no, yeah, you're right, and I think there's a lot of confusion. Like I say again, within the industry, because you'll get like life stages, like I say, you'll get breed
Yeah,
specific and things like that.
yeah,
But 9 times out of 10, that's in reference to the synthetic fortification that's been balanced for that specific scenario. So that's why they couldn't then feed it to say puppy to an adult or senior
yeah,
to a puppy and things
yeah,
like that, because it wouldn't be enough, because the synthetics aren't there to match. But with whole foods, it's completely different. So yeah, any carnivorous pet can eat these without an issue at all. Like I said, I can't speak across the board because I've only had 6 of them and I've still got 3 that to go through. But I've not come across any big pieces of like bone or anything like that that can cause like
yeah,
a choking issue or anything like that, which is what a lot of people do worry about. But I always tell people to defrost it and go through it with a fork. If you can feel something big, chunky, and sharp, just take it out. Because, like I said, manufacturers are not infallible, and yes, they're not going to go through every single batch with a fork. Otherwise, it's going to cost you a lot more money. It's going to cost a lot more to produce. So yeah, honestly, you're doing amazing things, and I just want you to keep doing what you're doing. If you ever get any said bad comments, take it on the chin, because 9 times out of 10, it's probably coming from a disgruntled customer, or they're biased with another brand and things like that. Like I say, it gets toxic, and as soon as somebody starts to rise, you get somebody trying to bring them down, and it's just the way social media goes. I found that out the hard way. Trust me. That's why I started the Raw Feeds of Great Britain, because I got sick of the toxicity online, and
yeah.
after getting blocked from most groups, I created my own, and here we are.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't want to keep. Like I said, I don't want to keep you too long from doing what you're doing, because I know you're a very, very busy lady, and the fact that you're sat here right now, you current staff are going to be a person down and struggling and picking up the slack. And we're going to be burnt out by lunchtime. So yeah, I'll let you go. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming on, and please, if there's anything that we as a group can do to support you, by all means, please let us know, because we'll be all over it. Again, completely for free, because we just like to share everybody that's doing great things, and yeah, just help you along the way. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll send you a copy of this, okay, at the end, so you can review it all, and then you can thumbs it up or thumbs down, and then I'll publish it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for having me as well.